Okay, let's just start with a big question. What if our entire education system is, well, fundamentally broken? Welcome to the Explainer. Today we're diving into a really radical new idea called quantum education. And it's not about just memorizing facts. It's about a whole new way of understanding the super complex, interconnected world we're all living in right now.
All right, so before we jump into the solution, we've got to talk about the problem, right? Let's take a look at education's outdated operating system and figure out why the current model just isn't cutting it anymore.
I mean, have you ever felt this, that our schools just seem totally stuck in the past, even while the world is just racing ahead? The whole argument here is that our education system is basically a relic. It was built for the industrial age, and it just hasn't really been updated. And that's creating this massive gap between what we're taught in school and what we actually need to survive and thrive out here in the real world.
And here's a great way to think about it. Traditional learning is all about these neat, linear, step-by-step processes. You learn A, then B, then C. But the modern world? It's not like that at all. It's this messy, interconnected web where everything affects everything else. So we're essentially being trained to be these passive buckets for facts, when what the world is demanding are active, creative problem solvers who can see the whole system.
So the big question is, how do we fix this? Well, let's introduce the idea of quantum education. And really, you should think of this less like a simple software patch and more like a brand new operating system for learning itself.
This approach was developed by a guy named Nick van den IJssel. And what he's proposing isn't just about making a few tweaks here and there. Nope, this is about completely rebuilding how we learn from the ground up. It's all about shifting our focus to see the whole picture, to really understand how everything connects.
So what exactly is it? Well, quantum education is a research-based way of learning where students basically become detectives. Instead of a teacher just lecturing and pushing facts at them, the students investigate one thing, one system, from all sides at once. They're the ones asking the questions, they're the ones pulling the information in, all to see the complete picture. And they do it with a really interesting partner, AI.
Okay, to really get this, let's use the heart on the table analogy. Imagine you've got a human heart just sitting there. In the old system, you just memorize its name and what it does. But with this method, no way. Students would investigate it from every single angle. What is it? What are its parts? What does it do? Crucially, why is it located right there? How does it connect to everything else? And maybe the most important question, why is this design the most efficient, the most optimal solution? You keep asking these questions until the entire system just clicks.
Okay, so this whole approach is built on what they call the 3 pillars of learning. Let's break them down.
The first pillar is this idea of a 360-degree inquiry. And what's so cool about this is that it's a universal toolkit. It doesn't matter what you're studying, a heart, a historical battle, a business model, whatever. You look at it through the same set of fundamental questions. What is it? What's it for? Why is it there? What does it need? It's basically a framework for, I love this phrase, structured curiosity.
Pillar number 2 is built around this beautiful universal principle. The quote says, "Beauty is often a byproduct of optimal function. Form follows efficiency." So what students start to discover is that systems that work really, really well, whether it's an organ in your body or a perfectly designed bridge, they work because they are incredibly efficient. The form, the shape, the design, it all follows the need for maximum efficiency. It's a deep, powerful insight.
And then there's pillar 3, which might be the biggest game changer of all. It's about AI. But not AI as just, a fancy calculator or a tool to cheat on your homework. No, here AI becomes a Socratic research partner. It's a tool that helps you think better, go deeper, and really challenge your own ideas instead of just giving you the easy answer.
And this creates a huge shift in how you interact with AI. You stop asking these, kind of weak questions like, hey, just give me the answer, or what should I write? Instead, you start asking really powerful questions. Things like, hey, AI, simulate what happens if I change this variable. Or, give me 3 solid reasons why my own hypothesis might be totally wrong. Or, explain this concept to me using an analogy. See the difference? It's about deepening your own thinking, not avoiding it.
Okay, so this all sounds great, but what does it actually mean for the student? Let's talk about what it looks like to be an investigator in this system. And maybe more importantly, how in the world do you test for this kind of understanding?
This slide just nails the difference. The old test question is all about facts. Where's the heart?
You either know it or you don't. It's pure memorization. But the quantum test question, it's a whole different ballgame. It's explain why the heart is in this position and why that is efficient. Now compare that with a different position. You can't memorize the answer to that. You have to understand it. It's the shift from rewarding what to rewarding why.
So when it comes to assessment, you're not getting graded on how well you can spit back facts. Instead, you're evaluated on the quality of your entire investigation. How good were your questions? How deep did your research go? And crucially, what connections did you make that nobody else saw? It's all about your ability to explain why things work the way they do. Your curiosity and process become the things that are valued.
So, okay, this all sounds pretty amazing in theory, right? But the real question is, does it actually work? Well, let's take a look at why this matters right now and what some of the early results are showing.
And the numbers are, well, they're pretty impressive. The pilot studies found a 60% increase in what they call deeper understanding. That means when students were faced with those big open-ended questions, they performed way, way better than students taught the old-fashioned way.
And it's not just about getting smarter answers. It's about engagement. When you turn students into active investigators instead of passive listeners, their motivation just shoots up. We're talking a 40% jump in how motivated they felt. That's huge.
But for me, this might be the most important number of all. Students were 35% better at applying what they learned to brand new, totally unfamiliar problems. And that right there, that's the holy grail of education, isn't it? The ability to take knowledge from one area and apply it somewhere else.
This quote really just wraps it all up so perfectly. Remembering a fact is knowing. Understanding a system is wisdom. Seeing efficiency is mastery. It's like a ladder of learning, you see. It's one thing to know a fact. It's another much deeper thing to understand the whole system. But to see the underlying principle of efficiency that makes it all work, that is true mastery.
And that really leaves us with a pretty profound question to chew on, doesn't it? Just imagine, what could our future really look like if we designed an entire education system not just to cram facts into kids' heads, but to actually teach wisdom, to cultivate mastery? It's a pretty exciting thought.